Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here at my next Korra comic news update video. This one's going to be a really quick one, and it is just basically the news of what actually happened with regards to the Monday announcement about Silver, Free Comic Book Day books, and then some new art from Irene Co. So, with regards to Free Comic Book Day, as of today, it is basically confirmed that we are not getting a Avatar or Korra comic for Free Comic Book Day. Dark Horse did have a Silver sponsor comic, but it was Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Plants vs. Zombies that were the two of their franchises included, not Korra or Avatar. So, of course, it's disappointing that we're not getting one, for sure. But I don't think by any means we should have absolutely expected one, that we should be angry and annoyed that this isn't happening. I think there's a lot to be said for kind of statements like, it would have made sense for there to be one this year, in the upcoming year where there's a lot of pretty big comic stuff happening. We're going to get the end of North and South, we're going to get the start of Turf Wars, we're probably maybe going to get the next Avatar comic announced, and a lot of other stuff. It would have been really cool to also have a kind of one-off, Free Comic Book Day book to really help hype up a lot of these big releases and make 2017 into one of the best years for Avatar comics. But they've decided not to go down that road, and I suppose the reason for that would be that the two main writers for Avatar and Korra comics are obviously hard at work on the main books, in that Gene Yang, of course, is working on, I assume at the I really don't know where the progress is on North and South. I assume at this point, so close to the release of North and South Part 2, we know it's printed and stuff like that, that more or less, all the writing on North and South would have to be done. So realistically, he's probably working on whatever the next Avatar comic is, if we are getting one. I assume that, and I don't really know for sure what that is. That's obviously an announcement we're expecting at some stage next year. And then Mike, obviously, is hard at work on Turf Wars, as well as his own novel series, Rebel Genius. So, given that Gene Yang also works on a lot of other stuff, I think I saw his name included on one of the other publishers' free comics, so he's obviously doing other work all around the place as well. So I think just two very busy writers, and they don't really want to bring in another writer just for one extra book. I assume that's mainly the reason for why we aren't getting one. But also, there's, however these decisions are made, they may not have wanted another Avatar one, because we have got one every year since 2013, and then 2011 also was one. So it makes sense that they weren't going to just have this continuously for every year. So I don't think there's much of a discussion to be said about they should for sure have one and really criticize Dark Horse. It's just disappointed, but we'll move on, because again, there's other books to kind of lead up to. If this was if 2016 didn't have the Korra comic that we did get for Free Comic Book Day 2016, then we'd have maybe something to complain about, that we only got 2 books last year. But the next year looks to be pretty good. The only other piece of news is just that Irene Co posted what she says is basically our last kind of preview of Turf Wars for a while. So how long exactly is a while? I assume at least until probably February or something like that. We're probably... She mentions that as part of her kind of Happy Holidays post, so maybe it could be January where we maybe get some more, in that she seems to just be kind of posting a panel or two as she's kind of going through actually doing this stuff. So we could see continuous ones up until release almost, but we'll have to see. But the image that we got here is really nice. It's our first look at a kind of panel that is big-ish, includes characters reasonably close up, but also includes background stuff. Now, it's obviously not 100% done, but it gives us a look at a few things. Obviously, it gives us a look at the panel layout for this specific page, in that you can see top right, obviously one of the panels is coming in, kind of at an angle. We haven't really seen that a lot in the Avatar comics, just them laying out panels in that sort of a way. And you can even see that the panel that's above it on the left kind of also is at a kind of slanty angle. So Irene Ko, I assume, kind of lays out these kind of panels very differently than like Team Gurihuru. And I think it gives it the page a really cool look, even though we don't have the full page. And then the art itself, I think, obviously, we're focusing here on the foreground stuff, and the background stuff still needs to be done. But I really like the design for the kind of Satomobile police truck thing here. I think there's a ton of detail there in the front on the engine, and then just the way the shading is done. It's really nice. And then we got our second look at Mako and our first look at Bolin in Irene Ko's character designs, and I think they both look really cool. Obviously, Mako driving one-handed is interesting. The arm there still needs to be healed. I'm kind of wondering how they're really going to address Mako and his injury. Just seeing it there as like a pretty notable aspect of his design, that he still has his arm recovering. I assume he's constantly getting healing from potentially Korra. Characters like Kaya, maybe even Katara is involved in this as well. Or, you know, there may be just like doctors around the place that happen to have waterbender healers as well. But I really do want to see, like, if by the end of Turf Wars, like, Mako's injury is healed, or if this is a somewhat permanent injury for him. We'll have to wait and see. But obviously Bolin is there for backup as well, and what amazing backup, you know, lava bender, amazing earth bender. But obviously maybe doesn't have the personality super suited to being part of the police force, though I think Book 4 Bolin really highlighted that he can get down to really serious business, as you kind of showed, being a part of Kavira's army but still being himself. So I think he'll be pretty dependable once we get into the swing of things, but I still think they'll use him in a slightly comedic way just because of his personality. But yeah, the art I think looks really, really good. And all of the previews that we've seen so far, I think, look really, really, really solid. And I'm so excited for this book to come out. I'm so excited to see some of this colored. Like, I think that it's one thing looking at the line art. It is a completely other thing to see this fully colored in the end, because it will add an extra layer to everything that we're seeing here. So definitely we still have a lot to look forward to when Jane Bach does some of the colors, and we maybe see previews of that. But for now, that is basically all of the news. We still have yet to get the preview for North and South Part 2. Again, as I said before, Dark Horse have said it is coming soon, but when exactly is soon, we don't really know. So I'm just going to end the video there and just leave you with the idea that links in the description to my Twitter and Tumblr if you want to follow me on social media. Also, links in the description to my Patreon campaign, and also my PayPal donation link if you want to help support my channel so I can make more videos, better videos. And then I'll also say, we also talked about on the podcast yesterday, Sunday, Avatar Online Podcast episode 149. We talked about all of these Irene Ko images over the last couple of weeks. We covered some other news. We answered a listener question. But our main topic was actually reflecting on 2016 kind of year in review type stuff, going over what came out this year with regards to Avatar. And at the very end, we did a bit of a 2017 preview, what we expect, what we really hope they'll do in 2017 to make it a really good year for Avatar. So that's linked in the description as well if you want to check out that more detailed podcast with myself and Greg from the podcast. So going to end the video there. Thanks for watching, and bye.